Hi friends, welcome back to Via Meditation channel. Before we get on to the topic, I have a small humble request to make. I was looking at the channel analytics and I observed that there are a lot of repeat viewers who are watching the channel but they haven't subscribed. Please show love and click the subscribe button. It really helps the algorithm and it helps in spreading the word. It will be very kind of you if you can do that. Now I'll get into the topic. In this video, I want to connect some dots between Nisargadatta Maharaj, Jiddu Krishnamurti, and Zen. I've been reading Nisargadatta Maharaj since many years, and I have been extremely influenced by his works and his question and answers in my journey. And I find a lot of similarities between what he says and what Jiddu Krishnamurti says and what Zen points at. To begin with, if you read Nisargadatta Maharaj, the first thing that will strike you is that it is too direct, too sudden, and too simple. And many a times people miss it because of that. Because we make concepts, we try to look at spirituality as a very esoteric process, and we want to hold something very concrete. We make concepts in our head which may not be true. And someone like J. Krishnamurti and Nisargadatta Maharaj, they break it. They break the cup which is holding all these concepts. So we don't have a cup anymore. But then the cup was full of so many beliefs. So we're not able to grasp it. The whole concept spill over and we sometimes miss it. So in this video, I want to really cover what they say and how they are similar. So, in the later parts of the work of Nisargadatta Maharaj, if you read his books like The Ultimate Medicine and Nothing is Everything, Nisargadatta Maharaj actually even denies consciousness. Now, let me explain what do I mean by denying consciousness. So when Nisargadatta Maharaj, when he talks of the primordial consciousness, he uses the word awareness. He might be using a Marathi word, but I'm speaking in English. So the primordial quality is awareness. And what rises and what sets is consciousness. Which means a body that we have has consciousness. But when we pass away, when we leave the body, this consciousness will set and go back into the primordial awareness. So that is the difference between the primordial awareness and consciousness. So when I say he denies consciousness, what he's trying to say is that this consciousness that we have is bound to the body. We can use this consciousness to go deeper into ourselves, to attain enlightenment or whatever the goal is, but it's only time bound till the time the consciousness resides in the body. The moment we lose that opportunity, this consciousness will go back into the awareness. The other way to look at it is that awareness is latent. While the consciousness is dormant, it rises and sets. It can get active. That said, I'd come to one very interesting part. I was reading one book called as The Ultimate Medicine by Nisargadatta Maharaj. In the preface, or just before the preface, there's a small quote of Maharaj. He says that all paths lead to non-reality. He says that all paths are within the scope of knowledge, which means it is within the realm of the mind. Any path, whatever it is, will be within the scope of knowledge. Because as long as it's a path, it has a concept, it has some method. So it is still within the realm of the mind. And the reality that exists prior to it. What exists prior to it is the awareness that we just spoke about. Now, if you read this thing, it actually is exactly what J. Krishnamurti always says and has been saying in different forms. And his one of the famous quote that we have discussed on this channel is, truth is a pathless land. So this pathless land is nothing but same thing as what Nisargadatta Maharaj is trying to point, that all paths are within the scope of knowledge, scope of mind. Hence, anything that goes beyond mind is probably the path. If you go to Zen, they will say the same thing in a slightly different way. They will call it as a pathless path. And there's another terminology which Zen uses, they call it as a gateless gate. So what does the gateless gate mean? The gateless gate means that it is so wide that you can enter from anywhere. You don't have to go into any method. You can enter from anywhere, which means it's your true nature. You just have to realize it. So this is a short video that I wanted to make and just connect the dots between what Maharaj says, what Jiddu Krishnamurti says, and what Zen is also pointing at. As I said before, please subscribe. A small click for you can be very useful for the channel. Thanks a lot.